Hey everyone, it's Matt with Redline Studios here in New York City with another Save Thursday suggestion. Save Thursdays is all about sharing film and television hacks that'll save you time and money. I'm going to give you my own suggestions on products and cost effective methods that'll hopefully keep your budget low. Most productions, big or small, are all about saving money, and so here are some tips and tricks on how to do just that. Today's Save Thursday topic is money saving tactics we took home from Fetish. On this Save Thursday, we're revisiting the film Fetish with Joan Collins to go over some of the money saving strategies we implemented. Number one, call in favors but be strategic. This was a really special project for me with a really big name actress but a conservative budget. We wanted as much money as possible to go towards accommodating Joan Collins without compromising the production value of the film. So, with that, I called in favors and favors from friends and friends of friends. But one thing to always consider, never ask people to work for free. Working for less is one thing, working for free is another. And guess what? The guy carrying heavy equipment through the corridors for you doesn't care about your creative dream. You gotta treat people with a little respect because a little goes a long way. When asking for favors, sometimes friends are gonna bring in their colleagues and ask for favors as well. And now you have to understand that this can be risky because if you're asking a friend to bring someone in that they know, they're putting their own name and reputation on the line. And so you need to make sure that you are treating those people with integrity and respect and gratitude, or else you're going to burn that relationship that your friend just put at risk for you. Be smart with locations. Locations can save money in terms of logistics and set design. In another video this week, I talked about set construction and location scouting, which saved us tons of money on this project. The fewer company moves you have, the better. For this film, we shot in a TV studio, in a limousine, and in an apartment. We added one more scene in our production offices because essentially it was a no-cost location that we needed at the last moment, and it added something cool to the film, and it didn't add any budgetary cost. One of our main locations had 4 to 5 different looks within the same space, and that was outstanding. It gives us visual diversity without even touching the budget. Be resourceful with props. Props can get expensive. And I remember on this film, one of the most expensive props early on in kind of predetermining cost was mannequins. We needed to find some full body and half torso mannequins to use as set dressings. Now, I remember I found this really small kind of quirky store in New Jersey that had really unusual mannequins on display. And you know what? I kind of just called them out of the blue. I explained the project and I asked if I could purchase a few. I remember them saying to me, they don't do things like this. They're not allowed to do things like this. But you know what? With a little bit of kind, polite persuasion, they eventually gave in. And I bought these outstanding mannequins that I still have today for a fraction of the cost of what other prop houses were trying to charge me to just rent a few. Think outside of the box. So for our one scene, we needed to shoot in a limo, and I started calling just all of the traditional limousine companies, and they were all way too expensive. Then I found a random guy online who just happened to own an older limo as a side hustle. Having this kind of old, predated limo fit perfectly instead of having this like more modern and bougie thing. It actually fit the aesthetic of the film perfectly and added to the production value while keeping my costs lower. It was quirky and it was at a place, and weirdly, the guy who owned the limo kind of oddly looked like Viggo Mortensen. And so as soon as I saw that, I asked him if he wanted to appear in the film, and of course he said yes. So you know what? We paid him a little bit of extra money, and now look, we're getting a 2-for-1. So the key lesson to take away here is don't be afraid to ask. People in this industry are often genuinely interested in contributing and helping a colleague out. People outside of the film and television industry are usually intrigued by it, and so they are often also willing to help you out if you just kind of explain what you're after, why, and how. And so it's not crazy to get help and support from those people because they just want to be a part of something fun and creative and cool. But regardless if you're asking for a favor of someone in the field or outside of the field, you always have to do it respectfully. Be resourceful, but never cheap or exploitative. Don't walk into somebody's retail location that on camera is going to look like you spent $10,000 to rent it, and ask them to use it for nothing. Don't be one of those producers who's always trying to get everything for free. Low budget is one thing, free is another. Think of it this way. If you want to secure a location that on camera is going to look like it cost you maybe $10,000 a day to rent, is that not worth $500? Of course it is. So make that offer to the store owner, who still might say no, but you have more chance of them saying yes than if you offer nothing. I can't tell you how many times I have been on a location scout looking at a space that if we secure will look like we spent $5,000 to $10,000 a day to use it. And every time a producer has tried to get it for free, it never works. But offering something as a gesture as small as $500 a day and working in off-peak hours and accommodating to the owner's requests, it almost has always come through for me. So think about that. A little goes a long way. A $500 expenditure could turn into a $5,000 valued location. That's called a fair compromise, more than fair. So be smart in your negotiations for things like this, and not scummy and not jerky. If you have questions about today's production hack or a budget-saving suggestion of your own, email us at insideredlinestudios@gmail.com, and be sure to like and follow our videos for future Save Thursday tips.